Hello everyone, and welcome. My name is Sasha Lee, and I'm one of two academic advisors here in the Law Societies and Justice Department. And I just want to say, first of all, congratulations for being accepted to the University of Washington. We're so excited to have you here, but more importantly, of course, we're very excited to let you know a little bit more about the Law Societies and Justice Department, what makes us unique, ways that you can get involved and really make the most of your experience here. So let's get started. So this is a quick overview of what we'll be taking a look at today. So one, what is Law Societies and Justice? Naturally, what makes us unique? And then we'll take a look at some major requirements. Will you get a job? Yes, of course you will. And we have a really great and short video featuring some alumni who speak a little bit more on that. And then lastly, how to stay connected with us. So let's get started. So what is Law, Societies, and Justice? Well, one, it is a major that is homegrown right here at the University of Washington. There may be other programs such as criminal justice or criminal law that you can find in other universities across the country. But in terms of the interdisciplinary nature of Law, Societies, and Justice that is found only right here at the University of Washington. We are 200 undergraduate students strong with 8 faculty members and 2 advisors. And you'll see here that we also have 140 minors, which I think is a great testament to students that are finding ways to integrate what they're learning in LSJ, whether they're majors or if they are also majors in other departments, and then again, integrating what they're learning in the minor. So really, if we were to sort of sum up what LSJ is more broadly, is that this major explores the complex role that law and legal institutions play in structuring social life. But let's dive into that a little bit more deeply. So as you see here, a lot of our introductory classes are really going to show you, especially LSJ 200, how is it that laws, policies, ideologies are so different in the books or in theory rather than in practice or in action? And that's something that you explore more deeply, especially in specific areas as you take higher and higher level courses. But as you continue to explore aspects of law, rights, and justice, you'll see that we primarily have students pursuing 2 different tracks. One is comparative legal institutions. We look at both national or domestic and international ideas and concepts of legal institutions. This includes courts as well as others. And then rights. Naturally, rights is going to have the more broad human rights umbrella, but really we dive into more specifics in terms of positive and negative rights, social and economic rights. And really, these 2 tracks allow students to not only have a comparative perspective, but allows them to, again, continue to integrate this across different disciplines. So what makes us unique? Naturally, there's so many, but we try to fit this within a short and concise presentation for you all. One thing is small class sizes. Our core courses naturally are going to be a little bit bigger just so students have the opportunity to learn a little bit about us as well as help prepare for their application should they decide to apply. However, being that the University of Washington is such a large school, it really is a great opportunity that within this department, also given that we only have 8 faculty members, it really helps facilitate smaller class sizes. Interdisciplinary coursework across naturally what you've seen within our website, you see that so many of our courses also touch on other departments on campus. This includes geography, anthropology, sociology, and you'll see that there are so many intersecting ideas, so there's no one right way to pursue the LSJ major. Faculty who prioritize teaching. Again, being a large public university, it's so easy for students, and research university, it's very easy for faculty to be very consumed with not only teaching, but then also research and publications. But faculty have done such an amazing job in these past few years integrating students into their research work. For example, one of our faculty members who leads most of our prison-based education has been doing work with a podcast. And in this last year, he brought students on to help produce and put together this podcast, which was a really great opportunity. Again, sort of leading on to the next bullet point with innovative teaching approaches. So obviously working on podcast, or we have a faculty member who's been using VR to help students further understand the asylum and refugee experience. So, our faculty are constantly finding new ways to help students learn core ideas as well as think things more broadly. And then of course we have research opportunities. This is through honors and independent research, as well as study abroad. We're hoping in this next year, as things continue to improve under this pandemic, that we'll be able to offer those opportunities again. Our required internship, which is such a fantastic part of our program because in so many ways we are so flexible in how students choose to pursue this. And again, it really helps students sort of frame what they've been learning in the classroom and applying that to the real world. And then lastly, our connected alumni. We have so many events and opportunities for students to get to know their alumni and build that network. So then when you do finally make that transition from undergrad into the professional space, you're not doing it alone. All right, so our prison-based education, this is really one of our major pillars in this program. You'll see here that we have two different types of seminars that we host. The first seminar is one where students are actually mixed in with those who are presently incarcerated, and it really makes for a meaningful learning experience. The second one is more specific to those who are formerly incarcerated and come to the classroom and share their experiences. They tend to be fairly active in their communities once they do re-enter, and it's always such an inspiration to speak with these folks. And then you see here that we also have book clubs. So we have those that are within men's as well as women's prisons. We have one specifically called Read to Me that supports women who are mothers and are currently incarcerated. And again, it's just really unique opportunities to, again, see the systems, but then also see the people that are impacted by these systems. The LSJ Study Abroad programs, like I said, we're hopeful that as things continue to improve under the pandemic, that we'll be able to start up these programs in this next year. But as you can see, we're currently operating in 4 different countries, which is so great. Typically, cohorts tend to be no larger than about 20 students, and you really get a chance to get close to your classmates, with faculty members, and naturally studying abroad is always really exciting. And you kind of take these ideas that have been fairly US based and centered and really get a chance to look at the comparative international perspective. Should you have any additional questions, you can find more information on our website. And then of course you can always make an advising appointment, and Kat or myself would be happy to chat about it. So honors is one of our really great research opportunities in our department. This is for students that are really self-motivated and want to dive more deeply into a topic. Again, any further details, we're happy to talk about that in advising appointment. But sort of the general idea is that it is a 2-quarter commitment. So your first quarter, which would be in the fall, that's mostly your research sort of heavy quarter. You'll be taking a research methods course, both in qualitative and quantitative research, and it's a really great way to set the foundation. Then your second quarter, that is where you'll be doing most of the writing. You'll be meeting with your supervisor fairly consistently, and by the end of these 2 quarters, you'll basically produce a really strong written piece. This is great for any post-grad opportunities, whether this is professional or academic, like grad school, for example. Definitely seek this as an option. You'll see some other pieces here, such as the interdisciplinary honors program. UW honors, or excuse me, the University of Washington has an honors college, and that is where students can participate in honors that is not specific to a department. And then you'll see here college honors is meaning that you'll complete both interdisciplinary as well as departmental honors. So again, any questions that involve departmental honors or perhaps mixing the two, definitely reach out. All right, and then of course, within our department, we really do find ways to engage students, again, both on campus in our programming, as well as within the community. We have our annual day of service, which we host every February. Just this past February, we actually got a little bit more creative, and our LSJ, actually Student Advisory Council, spearheaded some really great programming that they did online as well as via Zoom. But typically our annual day of service involves faculty, staff, alumni, current students all coming together and doing community service work for a day. And then afterward, we usually grab drinks and food. And again, it's just a really great way to build community. But as you see here, the Student Advisory Council, this is something that's actually fairly new within our department. It's a really great opportunity to basically do work on behalf of your classmates. I think just in this past year were things that happened, especially last summer. A lot of students have felt that a student voice and student leadership was very important, and we feel the exact same way. So you see here that it's a combination of departmental work, on-campus and community service, event organizing, and then of course, diversity and anti-racism work. So should you be interested in something like that, especially once you get to the University of Washington, and then once you are within the major, we would be happy to talk to you about it. There's also current council folks that you can talk to as well. All right, so major requirements. We won't go into too many nitty-gritty details because of course you're still deciding, is UW right for you? But I think, taking a look and seeing what is required of our majors is a really great way to sort of think about if you are deciding you are going to come to the UW, what is it that we ask of our majors? So our coursework is only about 55 credits, which if you break it down class-wise, it's only 11 classes. There are lots of majors that actually require more of those, or more credits, excuse me. So we're actually a fairly small major. You'll see here that we require 4 core courses. You only need 2 to be eligible to apply. They need to be completed and graded. But in terms of completing the major, you only need 4 that cut across these 3 categories. And then we have our subfield or elective courses. And then lastly, of course, we have our seminar, a departmental seminar, and then the internship. So the internship, what are we really asking of our students? Typically, students must complete a minimum of 100 hours for this internship. Again, it's a great way for students to take what they've been learning in the classroom and really sort of measure that up against what they're seeing in the real world. Naturally, you're going to be curious as to what areas would you see yourself wanting to be in, especially once you graduate. And this internship, again, is a great way for students to explore that, especially students who want to go to law school or do something within law or policy. This is a great way to take on an internship that's similar to that area and see if that's something that you want to do. Outside, of course, of completing this internship, we have career development lessons. And so we talk to you about developing a strong resume and cover letter, networking via LinkedIn. So really this course is meant to be well-rounded and that we support students academically, but as well as professionally. So a quick note about pre-law, we always like to bring this up just because naturally law is in our name, and students tend to think a few things. One, that they need to be in this major to go to law school, right? There's other students that think that, the program consists of, pre-law courses. So, maybe talking about jurisdiction matter, thinking about reading cases. And so that is not the case either. So one thing, there is really no such thing as pre-law. There's definitely opportunities and experiences that you could take advantage of that would make you a strong law school applicant, but there isn't necessarily a pre-law program. And of course, we are happy to refer you to any resources. There are a number of students within our major who are very much interested in going to law school. And so again, we provide resources and we refer them to places on and off campus to help them explore that. They tend to use the internship to, complete an internship within a law firm. Again, it just kind of helps them figure out if this is something that they want to do. But in terms of your broader motivations for LSJ, of course, you're welcome to check out our website again and make an appointment if you want to clarify anything. But really, LSJ is looking at how institutions and laws affect, social structuring in life. And so for students who are interested in something like this that is, a bit more broad and has a bit more of a sociological element to it, then we definitely encourage you to apply. If you are interested in law school, of course, that doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't apply, but we do encourage students to sort of think about what their motivations are, especially when you're writing the personal statement for the application. All right, so will you get a job? Yes, absolutely. LSJ teaches a number of, hard and soft skills that students have utilized in numerous industries and fields once they've graduated. However, like I said, I think this very short video here, which features a few alumni speaking about their experience and what they've learned, I think is going to be helpful.
What I could do and what I could be. So coming out of high school and coming to the University of Washington, I hadn't really found my place. So LSJ for me felt like my place and where I could learn and grow and develop.
I think LSJ has been a good foundation of knowledge to help shape my values and just be that base of education to dedicate my career to public service.
One of my favorite memories from LSJ was one of the first courses I had with Professor Godoy, where she told us on the first day, I expect you in this class to question everything, including what I tell you. Just because I'm a professor telling you something doesn't mean that what I'm saying is true. It could be, but having that freedom and actually being encouraged to interact with what you're learning and question it.
Having empathy for other people. A lot of the courses, whether it be like human rights law or women in society, they're talking about some topics that it's really eye-opening once you realize like what they're going through in that situation. And it definitely leaves you kind of wanting to make a difference, wanting to make an impact, but also understanding like other people are going through some things that you might not be totally educated on.
Abilities that I developed in LSJ with encouragement from professors have allowed me in my career to tackle things that were unfamiliar or that I didn't know how to do, but I knew how to be resourceful enough to find out how to do them professionally when I've been hit by like a failure or a barrier in front of me, being able to redirect and understand that it's not the end of it all, that there's more behind it, and that this might just be more of a pivot rather than it's over. LSJ teaches you a skill set while still exposing you to a number of different disciplines that helps you in a broader way than majoring in any very specific discipline.
In the economy we have now, having degrees that provide a certain level of flexibility is really important. And it's pretty rare to find a major that has such a broad base to it, the way that LSJ does.
I think it just makes you a better person too. It makes you an engaged community advocate, an engaged citizen. I think you learn about other things beyond Seattle, Washington, and the worldview right here while you're going to school.
Advice that I would give to a graduating student who is just about to complete their LSJ course, their major, is to tap into your alumni network. I think that that is often an underrated, untapped resource in a lot of schools.
Stay connected to the foundation knowledge you got here and the LSJ degree, and stay dedicated to the mission that you want to help, and especially that mission being something that's greater than yourself.
You never know what doors are going to open and where, and so just to kind of try and stay the course and trust the process a little bit. It's easier said than done.
Try different things out. You've just got a degree that, again, has prepared you well for a multitude of different career options. So explore those, spend some time with it, and just, take risks and see where you end up, because there's so many different options and directions that your life can take.
My future is really dedicated to public service, and I think a lot of that is from the values that I learned here in the Law Society and Justice program.
I've done a lot of work to get to where I am now, and I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. So I'm excited for what the future holds for me. I've tried not to put too much of a title on it because, one day I want to do this kind of work, and the next day I'm really impacted by a different style of work.
I'm just still open to really anything that I find professionally satisfying, and still harkens back to picking those LSJ courses just because I found them interesting, that I think that I will just continue to pursue what sounds interesting and professionally satisfactory, and keep on keeping on.
So as you all can see, really with this program, you get such a unique opportunity to build a set of skills that really prepares you, like they were saying, for a number of different industries, right? And also, sort of going back to the note about pre-law, if you noticed in the video, there's only one lawyer that was speaking, and everyone else was in so many different industries. And so that's another thing, is that really tapping into that alumni network, like one of the speakers was saying, is going to be so vital. Because if you decide that if one space or one field isn't something that you thought it was going to be, then it's such an easier pivot, just because, again, of the skills that you've learned, and then of course of the really great alumni community that you have. All right, so, and again, just kind of continuing on. So outside of the internship course, of course, we have so many other options for, well, both perspective in terms of kind of checking us out and seeing if this is something for you, but then also our current majors. So one, we have an LSJ alumni mentorship program, which this year we're over 90 pairs strong. Each quarter features different themes and discussion topics, and students have really found this so valuable in terms of, you know, developing that network and having someone who can give them advice on an industry that they're considering breaking into. I highly recommend this for folks who decide that they're going to pursue the LSJ major, and once they get in, because again, starting early is going to be the best bet for you, but especially with this program, starting with a really strong network and, you know, base is going to only help you. As you can see here, we also have quarterly career panels that cut across a number of different industries. So again, we're constantly trying to support students in whatever space that they want to break into. This past year, we just broke out with the business and tech panel, which again, I think a lot of students have been finding very helpful and influential, excuse me, in terms of how we're integrating social justice values into these business and tech spaces. And then lastly, we have a really great course that is offered about twice a year called Learning from Failure. Alumni come in and share their experiences, and it's a really great way to sort of parse through what are our subjective and objective understandings of failure and success, and ways that you can use sort of these ups and downs in your life, whether they're personal or professional, as learning experiences. All right, well, ways to stay informed with us. Follow us on our social media platforms. So many of our students have really enjoyed the ways that we've been engaging with them, especially in this past year with the pandemic. But naturally, we've always used this as a way to keep up with our students, as well as community members. Prospective students, definitely check us out as well. We put up new stories, projects, events, programming. And so again, it's just a way that you can stay involved with us and see if this is something that you'd love to pursue. Our website features a number of resources in terms of seeing our faculty's background, seeing what our honor students are up to. But also we have stories, that are featured every quarter. You get a chance again to kind of see what the department is up to and what our faculty and staff are doing. Lastly, LSJ advising, so myself and Kat Eli, who's the academic services manager, we are a huge resource for you all, and you are more than welcome to tap into that anytime. Make a prospective student appointment with us, and we would love to sit down and chat and answer any questions that you may have about the major, about applying / admissions, anything that you would need. You are also welcome to come into drop-in hours. These are typically limited to 10 minutes just because they're meant to get as many students in as possible. So definitely make an appointment and we'll have about 20 to 30 minutes to really hash things out. So now we've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Again, my name is Sasha, and Kat Eli, of course, is our other academic advisor. And we are so happy to share this information with you about the Law Societies and Justice Program. And we are so excited that, again, you've been admitted to the University of Washington, so congratulations. And please feel free to reach out if LSJ seems like the major for you. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Bye.